Hi guys! So today I'm going to walk you through how to find everything that you need to complete for a week's worth of content in our class. So where do you find all the lessons? Where do you find your assignments, your quiz, and every 3 weeks you'll have a test as well. And your discussion assignment, can't forget that. So this is a really important video. It's going to show you how to find everything, and it's especially important that you make sure you watch along because your quizzes do not automatically appear for you. You're going to have to mark certain things reviewed before your quizzes will pop up. So I'm going to show you how to do that in this video, all right? So first things first, as you know from our previous video, anytime you log into our Blackboard course, you want to read through the announcements, okay? I really do try and make them short to the point so that you don't have like a novel to read through every week, but I will post them every Monday. You'll get an emailed copy, but it's really important that you come into Blackboard to read them, because anytime I post a video in one of the announcements, that won't come through in the emailed version, and sometimes the pictures I post won't come through either. So you want to make sure you log into Blackboard to read through the announcement in its entirety. There will always be important information about due dates, things I might need to tell you about lessons. I might post up help videos, so definitely make sure you take a look at that. The second thing you should do is always check your messages. I will be sending out messages every week. You want to check your inbox and make sure that you read through any messages I send out. And if you need to send me a message, please remember, don't send me an email. Instead, click create message and send me a message within Blackboard, okay? So once you've done that, then you'll come to your course content, and that's what we're really going to focus on in this video. If you haven't already, please make sure you've read through the Getting Started folder. So if you have not done that, please pause this video and make sure you take 5 to 10 minutes, it won't take you long, and go through the Getting Started folder. There's some really important information from the college. There's some really important information about where to find your syllabus and your due date schedule, and some really useful help guides about Math Lab and how to find your grades and rubrics throughout the semester. Okay, there's some important information about how to write your discussion responses, how to communicate with me, and meeting with me within the first 2 weeks. So if you haven't, pause this video, go through, read that, and then come back. So I'm assuming that if you're still watching, you've read through the Getting Started folder. Please, 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 please have read through the Getting Started folder. And now you're ready to learn about, well, what do we do every single week? So every week you'll get a new content folder. They will always release the Saturday before the week begins. So that way, if you want to, you can get a jump on the week, but I aim to make these content folders basically go from Mondays to Sundays. So the Saturday before that Monday, the content folder will release for the week. So if you want to, you can get a 2-day head start on the content. All right, so you'll only get 1 week at a time, and they'll release every single Saturday. So on Saturday, January 29th, week 1 will release, and then the following Saturday, week 2 will release, okay? Because I only really want you guys focusing on 1 week at a time. So you click into it, and at the top you'll see the objectives. This basically is just going to tell you what we're going to be learning about this week. So read through them. It will get your brain warmed up, okay? As you guys know as future teachers, right, it's always good to activate prior knowledge. So this is really helpful. Get your brain thinking about what we're going to be focusing on. And then this is also a really good check, because once you've gone through all the lessons for the week, you can sort of use this to check yourself. So you go back to these and go, okay, can I identify different problem solving strategies? And if the answer is yes, then great. But if the answer is, I'm not really sure, then you know you need to go back into the lessons and look at that again. So this can be like a little check for you when you've done the lessons. Underneath the objectives, there will always be what I call an activity checklist. And this is a really handy thing. It tells you exactly what you need to do for the week, and this is the order that I recommend you doing it in. So these are all the things that you need to do for week 0, okay? So the first thing that I recommend you doing is read all the lessons and watch all the lecture videos. So lessons 1 to 5, read all lessons and watch all videos. So underneath your activity checklist, your lessons will always be in this green folder right here where it says Unit 1 Lessons, Problem Solving Strategies. Okay, that's where I'm gonna find all my lessons. So I'd click into it, and sometimes your lessons will just be a text you read through, and in this case you would read through this text and try the problem. And then I would go to lesson 2. Sometimes it'll be a folder that you click into. So this is just a text, but you can see this is a folder. So I need to click into it, and there's 2 videos and a printable that I would go through, okay? And then I would do lesson 3 and I would watch the videos. Those are just lecture videos. All of my lecture videos I try and keep within 10 minutes, okay, so that they're not too hefty for you. So that way you can do a little bit at a time. Lesson 4, I would read, watch the short lecture video. And then lesson 5, I would read the first text and then I would watch the video that goes with it. With each lecture video, you guys, as long as I have created it within PowerPoint, I include a PDF. So you can click that PDF and these are the exact slides you'll see in the lecture video. And what you can do is you can print this out and use it to take notes. So when you're watching this slide, for example, you can take notes on what I'm doing. It's just an option. You certainly don't have to. You can just freeform take notes, or if you're more of an auditory learner, you can just listen. But I find it I learn a lot better when I write things down. So you can always find those. There's some information about closed captioning underneath each video, and there's also a little blurb about what this video is about. To watch them, you just click play. They're embedded right into Blackboard, okay? You can make this bigger by clicking here. You watch the video, okay, you go through it, and then you can, the really nice part about taking a class online, you guys, is that you can rewind the video. So if you don't understand what I just did or you missed a step, you can literally just rewind it and go back and watch it again. And you can watch it as many times as you want. And like I said, I try and keep these videos within 10 minutes. This one's only 5 minutes and 44 seconds. So I do try and keep them really manageable for you. When you're done, you click this minimize button, and you can always turn on closed captions by clicking this CC button here. Let me make this bigger so you can see. So you can click this CC button and you can turn on captions, or you can turn off captions, okay, if you don't like them. The captions on here are okay. The Blackboard captions have gotten better the last few years, but sometimes they can be a little bit off, so just be aware of that. All right, so after you've completed all the lessons, that would be the first thing that you had to do on this checklist. The next thing I always recommend doing is the discussion assignment. Now, for week 0, all you have to do is write a reply. It's just an introduction. You're just writing an introduction, and that's due by the end of the day, Thursday. However, during the semester, on literally every other week except this one, you will have to do both an initial response and a reply to a classmate. Your initial response will always be due by Thursday, and your reply to a classmate will always be due by Sunday. So underneath the lessons folder, you'll always see your discussion assignment. You can read through it, okay? Sometimes there'll be pictures or videos. And then you just click this link and it'll bring you right there, okay? You click create thread, and the assignment will always be here in case you forget what you need to do. And then you type in a subject, you type in your response. You can, if you want to, embed videos, or you can embed pictures by clicking insert local files or documents. Whatever you want to include in your response is fine. Or you can attach something right here. I like embedding things because then it shows up right in your response and it's really obvious to see. But you can also attach things. And when you're done, you would click submit, okay? If you need to come back and work on it later, you can click save draft. All right, so that's how you would get to your discussion. The other option is to find discussion assignments. You can click in this left-hand menu, discussions, and then scroll down to the week. So here we've got week 0 is our introduction assignment, and that'll get you to the same place, okay? So let's say it's not week 0 and it's a different week. You've done your initial post. Now you need to respond to somebody. Maybe you want to respond to me. Although actually you're required to respond to a classmate, not to me. But let's just say this is a classmate's. You would come down and you would click reply, and then you'd write your response here. Now I highly recommend taking a look at the grading rubric for discussions. So the way you can do that is you go into my grades, find any discussion assignment. See, it says discussion right here. Click view rubric and read through what you need to do, okay? This is what is expected of your discussion assignment. Your assignment discussions are expected to be at least 500 words and meet all of these criteria. So I would take a look at what's expected of you so that you know how to get a good grade. And if you do not respond to a classmate when it's required, so any other week except week 0, I will not grade your response. So you will just get a 0. So make sure that you're responding to classmates by Sunday, okay? All right, so that's discussion. So first you're gonna go through your lessons, then make sure you do your discussion. Then underneath, I recommend doing your homework assignment in Math Lab. Your homework will always correspond to whatever you learned in lectures. It'll be right underneath your discussion assignment, okay? And you'll always see this orange Pearson box. So you just click into it. It's linked right to, the first time you click into one, you'll have to accept the user agreement for Pearson. So just click I accept. And you'll type in your username and password and sign in. Okay, now for you guys, the first time you hook up your MathLab account, you'll have done all this already. If you haven't hooked up your MathLab account, make sure that you do. But once you have, when you click into this link, it'll bring you directly to that homework assignment, okay? So once you've hooked up your MathLab account, these links will just bring you directly to the assignment, all right? Underneath that, you'll see this Meet with Mrs. Stugard. You'll only see this week 0 and week 1. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so after you've completed your MathLab assignment, then you're going to have a quiz. This week it happens to be a video quiz, and there are really specific directions that I've included with that. But if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll notice you don't see the quiz. There's a very good reason for that, okay? It's because in order to have access to your quiz, you need to have gone through all of the lessons and mark them as reviewed. So you'll see this little box here, okay? When I go through a lesson, I either read it or watch it, and then I mark it reviewed, okay? And you'll see this little check mark and it says reviewed. And I'm going to have to do that for all of my lessons. So watch it and then mark it reviewed. And then I would watch this one and mark it reviewed. And then I'd either just look at this or look at it and print it out and mark it reviewed. And you have to do that for every single lesson. And I do that, I know it seems really tedious, but there's a really good reason why I do that. I'm just gonna keep going and marking them review as I talk. These lessons, guys, are going to be teaching you really specific strategies and how to use really specific manipulatives. And so I need to know that you're reviewing these lessons, watching them or reading them, because the thing is, if you don't, then you're going to wind up doing really poorly on our quizzes and tests and assignments, because the way you do addition or subtraction or multiplication, you're going to have a preferred way that you've already learned and that you like. But we're going to learn like 4 different ways to do addition, and like 4 different ways to do subtraction, and like 4 different ways to do multiplication and division. And you're going to be asked to use those very specific strategies and show your understanding for those strategies on our quizzes and tests. So if you haven't watched the lecture videos or read through the examples, you're not going to know how to do them. You're going to do it the way you've always done it, and you're going to get the question marked wrong. Because this class is all about learning multiple strategies, because every student you're going to have in your classroom is going to learn in a different way. And so you need to be fluent in multiple strategies so that you can help each student learn in the way that works best for them. And so you're going to need to be fluent in all of these different strategies, not just the one you like. And you're going to be asked to show that you know each of these different strategies, okay? So as teachers, right, we need to be willing and able to jump around from strategy to strategy to help our students learn best. So even if you get the right answer, if you don't show me the strategy I'm asking for, it's going to be marked wrong. So it's really important that you go through and review each of these lessons and at least know where to find them. And once you've done that, you mark them as reviewed. So once you've marked all the individual lessons as reviewed, you come back and you mark the whole thing as reviewed. And then, like magic, your quiz pops up, okay? So the quiz wasn't there just a second ago, as you guys saw. But once I marked all my lessons reviewed, now I'm ready to take the quiz. I wasn't ready to take it until I'd gone through the lessons, okay? So after you've completed your math lab assignment, you can complete your quiz, and I just gave you a little reminder, you will not have access to your quiz until you've completed all your lessons and marked them as reviewed, okay? This is a video quiz. There's really specific instructions because this is the first time you guys are doing a video quiz, so I really tried to break it down for you. Okay, you can click here to view the rubric. I really recommend doing that so you know what's expected to be in your video. All right, there's an honesty pledge. You'll see this for every single test and quiz you take. And then there's directions on how to upload your video and hand it in. And you can either watch the video for these directions to see how to do it, or you can read through a PDF, whatever you like, whatever you prefer, or do both. Just make sure you've really got it, okay? And then the last thing that you're going to do for this week is sign up for a 10-minute slot to meet with me. You have to meet with me either this week or next week. This will count as a quiz grade, and all the information for signing up with me, including the sign-up sheet, is right here. All right, so you'll just type in your first name, last initial. We're gonna meet for 10 minutes. It's gonna be really, really just like laid back. And if you wanna watch a little video about how to find that meeting, how to access that meeting, click here, okay? So once you've gone through all of these things, you've done everything you need to do for the week. All right, every third week, you'll also have a test. On testing weeks, your quizzes bump up to being due Thursday. Your quizzes are always due on Sundays, except for test weeks. Your quizzes will be due on Thursdays, and your tests will be due by Sunday. Everything's always due by the end of the day, so you have until 11:59 p.m. on any given due date to hand something in. Okay, you'll submit it all here on Blackboard. And on testing weeks, you also don't have discussion assignments. So every third week, you get a break from discussions. But any other week, you have a discussion assignment, and you need to do an initial response and respond to a classmate. So I hope that this helped a little bit. I'm going to go back to the main screen in walking you through what a week looks like in this class, what's expected of you for the week. So you're going to always have lessons that you need to review and mark reviewed. You'll always have a discussion assignment except for testing weeks. Then you'll have a homework assignment in Math Lab that will always be due by end of the day Thursday. You'll always have a quiz that's due by end of the day Sunday, except on testing weeks that bumps up to Thursday. All right, and every third week you'll have a test. All right, so if you have any questions or if I can clarify anything for you, please don't ever hesitate. I am here, and I'm really happy and excited to get started. All right, so feel free to shoot me a message if you have any questions about anything that we've gone over today, and have fun, and I hope you enjoy the lessons. They're really fun. This is a really fun class, so enjoy playing with the math, using the manipulatives, and I just look forward to a great semester. Okay, bye.